Hi, so this time I am going to tackle the theory of Rutter and Mischel, which is the cognitive social learning theory. And regarding the theory, I have some overview. Those are both Rutter and Mischel assume that cognitive factors help shape how people react to environment. And for Rutter, human behavior best predicted by understanding people's interaction with their environments. For Mischel believes that cognitive factors play important roles in shaping personality. And for the biography of Julian Rutter, he was born in Brooklyn on October 22, 1916. He is the third oldest son of Jewish immigrant parents. Socioeconomic conditions, middle class until the Great Depression. This taught him the importance of situational conditions affecting human behavior. He is also an avid reader and impressed by Adler and Freud. He entered college on Brooklyn College, majored in chemistry, and graduated in 1937. He attended Adler's lecture in Long Island College of Medicine and soon came to know Adler personally. He graduated from University of Iowa psychology graduate in school 1938 and went on to receive his PhD in clinical psychology from Indiana University. He also served in World War II as an army psychologist for more than 3 years. He worked on Ohio State University where he met Walter Mischel. And he also married by Clara and had a daughter named Jean and a son named Richard. Now let's move on to Introduction to Rutter's Social Learning Theory. Rutter's theory is based on 5 hypotheses. Number 1 is humans interact with their meaningful environments. Second is human personality is learned, and when we say learned, it will be obviously from our own experience or the experience from others. Next is personality has a basic unity, and motivation is goal directed. Because mostly of all people na motivated, nagsaset sila ng goals para mas ma-push nila yung sarili nila or yung skills nila na mas mag-improve. Next is, people are capable of anticipating events. And for the topic of predicting specific behaviors, it is about analyzing 4 variables to make predictions in specific situations. We have behavior potential. It is the responsibility that a particular response will occur at a given time and place. It is a function of both expectancy and reinforcement value. So in short, it is a function of both expectancy and reinforcement value. So what is expectancy? Expectancy is a person's expectation that some specific reinforcement will occur in a given situation. Expectancy can be general or specific. So expectancy was learned from experience itself. Next is reinforcement value. It is the preference of a person attaches to any reinforcement when the probabilities are all equal. Reinforcement value is determined by individuals' perception on the positive and negative value of an event. Second is one's needs or specific reinforcements tends to increase in value as the need becomes stronger. Next is psychological situation. It is the idea that different people view different situations differently. Each person is unique, subjective interpretation to the interaction with their environment. The other one is generalized expectancies. It is the behavior expectancies across situations or not for specific situations. It is also making predictions for general situations. And generalized expectancies is affected by needs. So clearly, what is needs? So this time, I am going to tackle what is needs on different aspects. Needs is set of behaviors which people perceive as moving them in the direction of a goal, behaviors with the same or similar reinforcement. Number 1 is recognition and status. It is the need to recognize by others and achieve status. For example, nakakuha ka ng mataas na score at gusto mong ma-please yung parents mo. That is the recognition and status. Next is protection and dependency. The need to be cared by others and protected from danger. For example, as yourself, parang nag-expect ka na mag-care sa'yo, mag-care lahat ng tao na kapaligid sa'yo. Parang nag-expect ka na love ka nila or nagki-care sila sa'yo. Next is dominance. The need to control others' behavior. Dominance is being bossy itself is one of the example of dominance. Next is independence. It is the need to be free from the domination of others. Next is love and affection. It is the need to be accepted beyond recognition, need for others to show positive feelings and warmth toward oneself. And next is physical comfort. It is the need to have physical security and good health. So what are the needs components? We have three. Those are need potential, freedom of movement, and need value. Need potential, it is the possible occurrences of a set of functionally related behaviors directed toward the satisfaction of similar goals. Next is freedom of movement. It is the overall expectations being reinforced for doing certain behaviors that satisfy some general need. And last is need value. It is the degree to which someone prefers one set of reinforcement to another. Maladaptive behavior. According to Rotter's social learning theory, or maladaptive behavior is any persistent behavior that fails to move a person closer to a desired goal. May arises from setting unrealistically high goals and low freedom of movement. So, ibig sabihin, ang maladaptive behavior, ito yung mga behavior na ginagawang stagnant lang yung tao. Walang improvement, walang motivation, walang inspiration. Parang sa halip na tumaas sila, pababa pa na pababa yung mga skills nila at yung mga kaya nilang gawin. And according to Rogers, meron tayong 3 treatments for maladaptive behavior. First, we have psychotherapy, which is it provides us ways to unlearn inadequate behaviors of solving problems, and also to learn more appropriate ones within the controlled social environment. Second is changing goals. Many patients are pursuing skewed or distorted goals. Therapist's role is to help these patients understand the faulty nature of their goals and teach them constructive means of striving realistic goals. Kasi mostly sa mga patients na may mga gantong kinds of behavior, yung karaniwan sa mga goals nila ay improper or hindi magre-result ng maganda. So, ang role ng therapist is babaguhin nila yung perception nila about goals at mas kakausapin at bibigay sa kanila ng mga advice para mas mag-strive sila sa mga realistic goals. And lastly is eliminating low expectancies. The therapist tries to eliminate patients' low expectancies of success and low freedom of movement. Rotter believes that therapy should be an active participant in social interaction with the patient. As a therapist, it's a must naman na magkaroon ka ng personality na active sa social life para mas magkaroon ka ng social interaction sa patient mo regarding sa eliminating low expectancies. And the next topic is about Walter Mischel. These are the biography of Walter Mischel. These are the And this time, I am going to tackle the biography of Walter Mischel. Walter was born on February 22, 1930 in Vienna, Austria. He is the second son of upper-middle-class parents. He and his family fled to the US when the Nazis invaded Austria in 1938. He attended New York University and became interested in art, psychology, and life in Greenwich Village. He entered the MA program in clinical psychology at City College of New York. He also attended doctoral studies at Ohio State University from 1953 until 1956. Next is He studies religious cults that practice spirit possession and investigating delay of gratification in a cross-cultural setting from 1956 until 1958. He also taught for 2 years at the University of Colorado, then joined the Department of Social Relations at Harvard. He joined the faculty at Columbia University as an active researcher, and he also married to Harriet Nerlov and has 3 daughters. Michel's most important work was Personality and Assessment on 1968. So, regarding on the introduction to Michel's personality theory, he has the he has these two types of personality theories. The This theory is dynamic entity motivated by drives, perceptions, needs, goals, and expectancies. And the other version of personality is it is a function of relatively stable traits or personal dispositions. Regarding on the background of the cognitive and affective personality system, Walter Mischel believed that behavior is largely a function of situation. And it has consistency paradox. It is a situation where people seem to intuitively believe that people's behavior is relatively consistent, yet empirical evidence suggests much variability in behavior. Next is person and situation interaction. Michel argues that a person's beliefs, values, goals, cognitions, and feelings interact with those disposition to shape behavior. So, sinasabi ni Michelle na yung mga belief, values, goals, cognitions, at feelings ay nag interact para mas magkaroon ng molded behavior or personality yung isang tao. And regarding on the cognitive affective personality system or CAPS, it is also considered variability within situations, also behavior stability. Inconsistency are not due to random error or situation, rather due to pattern of variation. Predicts behavior will change, but in patterns. Consistency paradox solved by observing long history variability in behaviors and personality in stable. Behavioral signature of personality is one's manner of varying his behavior in certain situation. For example, is the topic of situation variable. Situations and personal qualities have important role in influence on one's action. Of course, situation and personal qualities or personality, sila talaga yung nagbibigay ng mas mataas na role pagka pinag-usapan natin yung behavior ng isang tao. Next is uniformity and diversity of reactions. And cognitive process might result in changing difficult situations to easier ones. Regarding on cognitive and affective units, it is the actions are not merely actions, but includes cognitive and affective qualities. So meaning, kapag wala siyang cognitive and affective quantities, hindi siya masasabi na action. Yung behavior ng tao, hindi siya masasabi na behavior siya kapag walang cognitive and affective qualities. Next is consists of 5 overlapping persons variables which interact with situation. It includes psychological, social, and physiological aspects. The 5 overlapping person variables are encoding strategies, competencies in self-regulatory strategies, expectancies and beliefs, goals and values, and last is affective responses. So what is encoding strategies? Encoding strategies is to transform information to personal constructs. So, ibig sabihin, kapag, for example, as a student, nabalitaan mo na may quiz or magkakaroon ng unit test. So, it would be automatically na kailangan mo mag-review or kailangan mo na kumilos at para makakuha ka ng magandang grado. So, yung ibig sabihin ng to transfer information to personal constructs. Next is competencies in self-regulatory strategies. It is self-regulatory strategies One ways to control behavior through self-imposed goals and self-reduces consequences. Next is expectancies and beliefs. Stimulus outcome expectancies help us predict what follows a certain stimuli or explains classical conditioning. Inconsistent behavior is a result of our own inability to predict others. So, napaka-self-explanatory na niya. So, ibig sabihin dito, kapag nagkaroon tayo ng failure, hindi siya coincidence. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin na-predict yung magiging next na mangyayari. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng failure. For example nga, as a student, absent ka, tapos yung papasok ka ngayong araw, magkakaroon pala ng quiz. So, hindi mo na-predict na may quiz, kaya automatic, magkakaroon ka ng mababang score. Yun yung expectancies and beliefs. Next is goals and values. People react actively towards the situations, formulate making plans, and determine selective attentions to events. Next is, last and but not least, is affective responses. It includes emotions, feelings, and physiological reactions. It is also inseparable from cognitive responses and reciprocal relationship.